G4 TechTV is hitting the open road beginning this June, capturing stories from geeks and gamers across the country. Want to see what we're up to? Go to g4techtv.ca for tour schedule and video podcasts. The G4 TechTV Wired Road Trip, brought to you in part by Rogers Video.
Welcome back to the lab with Leo, and we're going to talk again to Jeff Kee. Jeff Kee is a web designer. He's been doing it since the beginning of the internet revolution back in the 90s. Does lots of custom designs for customers, and he's here to talk about something that you might hear a lot about. It is a very important kind of underlying technology. You don't need to know it, but you probably are using it in one way or another. We're talking about XML. I've heard of HTML. That's kind of the language of web pages. Is this like HTML?
It's structured the same way, and if you look at it from the naked eye, it looks very similar to HTML when you look at the structure of the language. But really, it's completely different in nature.
It's a different purpose.
Different purpose, yeah. Different.
They're both markup languages.
That's right. It's a markup language, opening and closing with tags. But HTML is what makes a presentation. It makes a website look in a certain way. You know, color, positioning, and stuff like that. That's what HTML and CSS does. Now, XML is a purely data language. It interchanges only data.
Not for humans to read, really.
Well, you could read it. I mean,
but it's not intended for humans.
No, an XML file by itself is pretty much useless. Here, take a look at the screen. This is what an XML file looks like. Okay.
It actually is structured. I mean, you can look at it and you can see, we're defining a channel here. We're defining
it's very structural. Anybody, absolutely, yeah. And anybody with a slightly techie mind can easily see the structure of it.
I know what that is. That's an RSS feed.
Yeah, that's right. You got the opening tag of a post, and then you got the title, author, posted time, content, and all that, and then the tags have to close. So yeah, it has a tree structure just like HTML does, or supposed to, anyways. Yes, and the greatest advantage about XML feeds is that it separates the data from the presentation. Now,
that's the key to the modern web in general.
This is very key. Yeah, this is very key. Now, for most people, this sounds like what the hell? What is he talking about? It's like it's just way in your face. You have no idea what I'm talking about. But it is very important because it's all about exchanging data without having to
say anything
go
about how
to
it looks.
Website or without having to look at anything. Okay.
It makes more sense to you if you lived in the early days of the web as you did and as I did, where data and presentation were intermixed. An HTML page had both bold and the content in one line.
Yeah, and that's the only way it spat it out.
Yeah, and it wasn't so good. So we kind of matured a little bit. We would say, okay, we're going to take the presentation layer away from the content layer.
That's right. Yeah. So it goes into two tiers. You can have it together if you actually go to the website itself.
You can still make it be that way.
You can have it. You can have the data fed to you with an XML format, so that you can format it however you want in your own software or a platform. Okay.
So an XML is another way of saying the content of a web page.
Content of a web. You know what? XML is not restricted to a web page. It started with the web. Pretty soon, most of the industries will start using it. Financial institutions will transfer their financial data and customer data and whatnot.
Might be an XML file.
Yeah, it could be an XML.
Yeah,
that could be an XML. Manufacturing, when it comes to inventory control of electronics and other shipments of goods and whatnot across the globe internationally, they will be using XML in their inventory check systems or factory equipment, whatever it is, because it's so extensible that you can define your own data.
That's the X. It's extensible.
That's right. Extendable markup language is what XML stands for. So it's already used in your cell phones, eh? Did you know that?
Yeah.
Your cell phone menus or text messages and stuff like that. Yeah, it's saved in XML.
Macintosh preference files are in XML.
Absolutely. And it's the way of the future.
So when you say extensible, what do you mean extensible?
Well, you can define your own data, right? For example, if you look at this API on my screen here, this is from shopping.com, okay? You notice how the other XML file started with a channel? Well, in this case, it starts with DSP, whatever that means. Okay, I don't know.
So they can define terms.
You can define your own terms. You can spit out whatever.
That's defined in a separate file outside the XML file. There's a definition somewhere of what a term is. No, you don't even have to define it.
No.
As long as the other guy understands it.
That's right. So when they construct the structure of an XML for a specific industry or specific purpose, they will set the standards for what these tag names have to be.
Yeah, that is distributed in a file called a schema, which is the definition of
the doc schema.
Yeah, it's like documentation.
Yeah, you can do that optionally. Not always necessary, especially on the web, because JavaScript can actually parse through tags of whatever title you want. Like, let's say you want to, I know this XML looks this way, so I want to spit out an advertising banner based on this product data. Okay. Then I can look for the title. I can look for pricing, which is down here. There it is: maximum price, minimum price. There's store number 1, Amazon. See, you can parse through all of this, but by yourself. Yeah, as long as you know the XML schema, XML structure, right? Of course, between different industries, these will be standardized so to fit the purpose of it, right? So here's an example.
Just to reinforce this, it's a way of exchanging data between different programs in a way that they can understand it and then use it however they want to. A cell phone could use it as a menu. A bank might use it as a deposit. Depending on what's going on.
That's exactly what it is.
The context.
So today I'm going to show you 2 different examples.
Okay, real quickly because we're almost out of time.
All right. RSS readers, blogs will spit out their data through XML. Okay?
So when you subscribe to an RSS feed, you're just getting the
you're just getting the XML feed, and your reader can parse it however you want, right? So here's the blog feeds. Okay, all the text without loading the entire web page is here. Whatever text is on these blogs,
that's the power
can
of this.
Automatically be imported into whatever reader you want. And Google Reader is one of the many readers out there. You can use whatever you want. I have Firefox RSS feeders here that show just the title. When you click on any one of these, it goes to that page. Okay. Second example of XML APIs that can benefit largely for commercial stuff are these banners. This banner is generated through an XML feed.
They're not sending HTML.
Nope. This is just XML. This file, parsed with my own language, creates this banner.
Interesting. Yeah. So in other words, you decide on presentation. All they're giving you is the data.
That's right.
Again, we're separating the content from the presentation.
Yep. This can be sped out in whatever format I want, whatever size. If I change this.
It's an abstraction, but it's a very powerful abstraction. It's really making a lot of stuff happen on the internet today.
Yeah. See how I just changed the shape of the banner without having to change the data? The data is the same, and this is real time. This benefits sales of electronics over the internet, or Amazon uses this, eBay spits
It's a universal language is what it really is.
Absolutely.
JeffKee.com, that's Jeff's website. You can read his blog at blog.jeffkee.com, and we have more information online at our website, labwithleo.com. More of your calls to come. Stay right here.